Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again for your patience today. I wish that my colleague from Vermont was still here. It was 2012 when he and I started on privacy and filed the first privacy bill in the House. And as Senator Welch was saying, we've been at this for a long time, and we've been fought by big tech every single step of the way. Every way. And it's been really quite amazing to see, because they are, and sometimes people will say, how did tech companies grow this big this fast? And they didn't have the guidelines, the rules and restraints that the physical world has. And it's kind of been the Wild West. And we've seen that in how they choose to gather data and data mine and use that to make the dollar, the eyeballs. They've got to keep these eyeballs on the page. The longer they keep them, the more money they make. Now, I want to go back to the hearing we had with Mr. Masseri in December 21. And for the record, I want us to build out a little bit more of this framework, because I think it's important to the states that have joined the lawsuit. I think it's important to us as we work to get the Kids Online Safety Act passed. Now, when you were with Facebook, you built a structure that would allow for some online governance, and you put in place what you thought was a pretty good process for keeping people safe online, correct?
That's correct.
And basically, you had embarked on safety by design. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you were putting in place a duty of care for the social media company to be responsive to the users that were on those platforms.
That is correct. As I was going through one of these materials, I remember talking about bullying and teenagers and said that we as a company had a responsibility not only to the teens within the product, but to also improve the world's understanding of these issues so that the field could be moved forward. And that is the spirit with which we engaged the work.
And then in 2013, Facebook decided they were going to change the rules and allow kids ages 13 to 17 to post content on Instagram, correct?
I don't know the exact date that change happened.
Okay. I think that is accurate. And allowing them, what do you think changed? What motivated them to drop that age and allow 13-year-olds?
I cannot speak to their motivation, but what I can say is that if you look at those 2013 presentations and 2012, one of the things that is written about there is the fact that a 13-year-old, right, will do riskier behavior and feels things more intensely because that's where they are developmentally. And so making a change that potentially increases their audience, I think, would be inconsistent with that understanding.
I find it so interesting that whether it was Zuckerberg or Sandberg or Cox, when you highlighted with them how readers were responding to the survey, users were responding, and you kept trying to direct this toward the experience, not the perception, but the experience. And that is noted several times in your emails to them. Even though 51% of the users may say they've had a negative experience, they chose not to address that issue. And in most corporations, allowing issues like that to just slide would never be tolerated. So it is left, when I ask myself, why did they do that? It has to be because they were motivated by profit over motivation to protect their users in the virtual space. I do want to ask you just a couple of things to go back on your memo to Adam Masseri, the October 14th email. And you laid out an agenda and an opportunity for items for discussion so that you would make good use of your time. And you explicitly and specifically went through the numbers on kids that had received different negative interactions. And then you broke out the data by age. So, and you created a chart so that he could look at it in a Google Doc.
Correct.
How did he respond when you broke it out by age, or did he take the time to look at it?
It is my experience of all the years in Meta that an executive gets that email, reads it thoroughly, looks at all of the attachments, and so it would be my expectation that he had read it.
Okay.
In my conversation with him, he demonstrated understanding of everything I spoke about,
Okay.
and we specifically talked about the button for a teen girl who received unwanted advances.
Okay, thank you for that. I think that what troubles me is knowing that harm was being done to kids and then to tell us, and I quoted back to you some of his comments from his testimony that he gave to us, and for him to allude to the fact, to give the impression that they've built tools that prevent these adverse activities. But then, you know, it's that old thing of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It was true. They had built tools. You built them. That was true. But they chose to remove that. And in doing that, there are hundreds of children that we have met with their parents, and we have heard about the suicides, the attempted suicides, and the adverse impact on these children. Thank you.